Ladies and gentlemen, DeSantis is continuing to destroy his political future by going after Trump. There's no point in that. He's 50 points behind Trump. He, Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, and others are desperately hoping that the Republican Party will not allow Trump to run or to be the GOP nominee if he's convicted. This would completely obliterate a political party that George W. Bush already destroyed 20 years ago. So I'm voting only for Trump. You're probably watching and voting only for Trump. You wouldn't vote for DeSantis or Nikki Haley or Chris Christie or anyone. Vivek Ramaswamy, JFK Jr., very interesting and wonderful candidates. Trump, we had record low poverty with, and we had record highs in household median income. We also had a much better foreign policy where he brought Americans home through peace deals that Biden completely botched. Okay, the withdrawal was a May 1st, 2021 withdrawal. It wasn't a haphazard summer withdrawal, leaving billions upon billions in weaponry. Now, Trump was very good for a number of reasons. We have the Doha Agreement, the Abraham Accords, which is at the heart of what's going on right now. That's a whole other story. In a way, bolsters exactly what Trump, the reasons why Trump was a great president. First president to step foot in North Korea. He did not kowtow or bow to intelligence agencies, multinational organizations, whatever, media. He doesn't give a you-know-what about media. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. The question is not what was posed to Trump by DeSantis. DeSantis, in a very arrogant manner, why are you running? And then he goes on to say, and hit subscribe, by the way, to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. If he's running for personal retribution, that's not going to lead to what we need as a country. DeSantis knows very well that they're going after him politically, just like they went after DeSantis politically. They wanted to charge DeSantis with a crime, okay, for trafficking, for actually moving individuals from where they came into the country to Martha's Vineyard. Democrats then, in their typically and usual stupid manner, said that DeSantis tried to basically traffic these individuals. And that was obviously they want a criminal sentence. They know DeSantis would experience the exact same thing as Trump. There are people that I know that, I love Nikki Haley. Okay, well, Nikki Haley would be investigated tomorrow. They don't even need a crime. We know that with Trump. They just go from one accusation to another. They accuse Trump of being a Russian operative. Nothing could be further from the truth. We found out that was complete nonsense. So you have Trump up around 50 points over DeSantis and over 50 points over Haley. What makes anyone think that media, along with Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers and John Oliver and Robert De Niro and all of Hollywood, social media algorithms, the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, The Atlantic, Vanity Fair, Esquire, Rolling Stone, what makes you think all of these publications and individuals won't completely unite and take down or disparage or demean or push for investigations of Nikki Haley? You mean it's like the people who say I like Nikki Haley are completely in another universe. They're in a fantasy world. Oh yes, Trump brings it upon himself to not really. You can say that because he's brash and he's out there, outspoken, but he doesn't. You can play ball with the system, and if they don't like you, they'll do anything possible to go after you. Okay, JFK Jr. is not as brash as Trump in terms of rhetoric. He is fantastic in many ways, JFK Jr. Same with Tulsi Gabbard. She's wonderful. Okay, look what Hillary Clinton said about her. Look what every single news publication is trying to do with JFK Jr. Okay, this is a roadmap, a template, a rubric, a game plan against a political rival. They know that they have to, because the reality is the country is actually more conservative than people think. Okay, the country is more conservative than people think. The issue is that all of media props up the Democratic Party. So of course they win. Of course they've been winning the past couple of years. And by the way, I'm not a fan of the traditional Republican Party, the same George W. Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld Republican Party that sent Americans to never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. I don't want never-ending military conflict. Trump doesn't either. I want a great economy. We got that with Trump. So we had record low poverty with Trump. I mean, what's there not to like? If you're on the left and you're anti-war and you want poverty to be alleviated, Trump is your man. It's not Biden, who, with interest rates going up through the roof, to combat inflation that they caused with lockdowns, because that was not the fuel for shutting down economic activity. That was from the Democratic Party and bureaucrats and media. They wanted to shut down economic activity for as long as possible under the guise of saving people's lives. Maybe some people truly believe that doing so would save people's lives. But the reality is they knew it would harm Trump politically, and it did, of course. And Trump made many, many mistakes in terms of politics. Nobody could have done a better job his last year in office. You can look at New York and Democratic-run states that didn't do well. Okay? There are huge scandals in old age homes in Michigan and other Illinois, other blue states, New York especially. Okay, the mismanagement, there was no greater mismanagement than in blue states, but you can't talk too much about it, so we won't. Do research. Even Democrats were turning on Andrew Cuomo. And that's different from Republicans turning on Trump, because there's no never Biden faction of the Democratic Party or never Cuomo. Maybe there was in New York, but if you're the Democratic Party, you walk in lockstep. If you have to turn on somebody, it's like, oh my God, they've done something out, really bad. With Trump, you have these people like DeSantis. What does he think is going to happen? He thinks he's going to leapfrog Trump? For what? That's not going to happen. You're not going to have enough people to like Nikki Haley or Trump. They would get completely obliterated. You could put Fetterman and Biden on a ticket, and they would easily defeat Nikki Haley and DeSantis. Biden and Fetterman, okay, in any other country of the world, okay, couldn't win even the mayor of a small town. But in this country, with media, with Jimmy Kimmel every single night, would easily defeat DeSantis. So when DeSantis says, well, he's going after his political opponents, essentially, but he knows very well they're actively covering up things with Hunter and Joe, and they've done that with Hillary and Bill for a long time, and they're going after him. And they had a Mueller probe that proved nothing, and then finally they got Democratic prosecutors to go after him in blue states, in cities run by Democratic Party machines. And like I say throughout all my segments, the Supreme Court will eventually overturn these convictions. He'll be convicted. Okay? He will be convicted. But DeSantis was fantastic. He went from hero to zero for no reason. Why did he do this? Going after Trump when you need support. Trump needs DeSantis' support. And I get that he's trying to run for nominee and all that, but it's like, you're not doing yourself any favors when everyone in the Republican Party has zero chance of defeating Trump. And if they do, they have even less than zero chance of becoming president. You could take our current president along with, any Democrat. Kamala Harris could defeat DeSantis easily. Only Trump can defeat the Democrat, and I think that eventually that'll be Hillary Clinton. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Very disappointed in DeSantis. My God.